Hi, Angie here from Running on Juice. I was so excited to sit down with Shane in his New York City apartment after he reached his goal weight. He lost an amazing 80 pounds through running and juicing. We asked for your questions from the Running on Juice community and we were so overwhelmed with your response. We chose 20 of the best questions. These questions help Shane to share his insights and his tips and tricks from his journey. Now sit back, relax with a big green juice and enjoy the show. Okay, first up we have a question from Ein. I'd love to know how to stop getting bored. I managed 8 days but then couldn't stomach any more of the same taste.
First of all, what I want to say, Anna, is you did 8 days on a juice fast, which is incredible. I actually think probably 97% of the world's population couldn't do that, so congratulations to you. What you have to do is vary things. So if you cook the same thing every day, you're going to get bored. So you have your juice regime and your different juices that you have, and you can see here my library, if you will. I have lots of juice recipe books. There's lots of websites where you can get juice recipes for free. And it's nice to mix and match them. So, have something different. Maybe particularly if it's seasonal, you might want to throw some cherries, for instance, into a juice and just have something that mixes it up a little bit. Because at the end of the day, you can't drink mean green every day, all day, for as long as you juice fast.
No matter how good it is. Yeah. Okay, we have a question from Carrie and Trudy. They're asking about making juices ahead of time and what's the best way to store them.
Yeah, I think I get this a lot because particularly from mothers who have children, of course mothers have children, but housewives, etc. That let's be honest, it's a very busy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So my advice is use a SIG flask. It's SIGG. They're made in Switzerland. That's what I use. I take the top off. I put them in the freezer. And I leave them in there so that when I'm ready to pour my juice in, it's already nice and cold. And I think that I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure that retains the nutrients. The key thing with storing juices is you don't want any air in there. Mm-hmm. So even if there is a gap between the juice at the top of that flask, you want to make sure that you fill it up with water. Or what I do is I have like ice cubes, but they're sticks. Ah. So you can actually drop them into the flask and make sure that it's cooling and it also fills it up to the top. That's what I would do. I hear a lot of people ask about freezing. I'm not so keen on freezing. I think you may as well just make them for the day or 2 days and store them in your fridge and take them out like that. But again, the fresher the juices are, the more bang for your buck. So it's not bad to do it that way, but you do lose a lot of the nutrients the longer it takes to drink the juice. What I say to people is, if you're really serious about this, when you actually look at the amount of time it takes to prepare meals, to wash and clean afterwards, juicing is probably quicker.
Sometimes it is easier than cooking.
Yeah, and it can be, it's a pain in the backside to keep cleaning the juicer, but when you compare it with cooking a meal, then it's often quicker to actually prepare your juices.
We have a question from Jen. How do you deal with people who are against juicing?
First thing is not to preach. If you preach at someone, they are not going to listen to what you say at all. The best way to deal with them is accept it, and then in a month's time when they see you and your skin is glowing and you've shed some pounds and you're looking great, they start to think, wow, you saw my transformation and then you read my starter guide, hang on, there's something going on here, and you read the starter guide, tried it yourself, and you dropped the 80 pounds or so. So that's a good message. Also with the naysayers, hand them a copy of Fat, Sick and Nearly Dead. Don't even go into dialogue. Say, look, give me 9 minutes of your time, watch this DVD, and then we'll chat. Yeah. Because if people watch that DVD and they're against juicing, nobody is going to convince them that juicing is a good lifestyle choice.
Yeah, don't waste your energy arguing, just show them.
Just show them.
That's great advice.
And respect their decision. If they're really, really against it, say, I don't agree with you, but I respect your decision. Yeah. And move on. You're the one getting the benefits, and if they don't see it when you've shed the weight and you look good, then so be it.
Mm-hmm. Shirley and Robin ask, how will you maintain your goal weight moving forward? Will you still juice fast? If so, how often?
Okay, so let me take the second part of that question. It's a really good question, and it made me laugh when I was at Camp Reboot, which was Joe Cross's retreat recently, where he said somebody went up to him and said, "Are you eating food yet?" And he's like, "Yeah, I made the movie 6 years ago, of course, you know." So for me, what's really important is I try and fast, cleanse, reboot, whatever you will, with the seasons. So I want to do at least a 5-day cleanse. That's not even for weight loss. That's just to clear my body, to give me more of those phytonutrients, the minerals, etc. And just to do that once every season. In terms of maintenance, I have my own plan. So my typical diet is I wake up in the morning, I have a green power juice, and that keeps me going till lunchtime. At lunchtime, I will do one of two things. Usually, I'll have another juice, or I'll have a raw salad without the dressings. 3:30, snack time. Most people are heading off to Starbucks or munching on a muffin. I go out and either make myself or buy myself a juice. So then we come to the evening, and generally I'll make a balanced meal. And generally it'll be plant-based. I have meat twice a week, maybe, because I still include meat in my diet, and I make it balanced. The other strategy I have, and psychologically this is really important, and I think this is what's got me through the journey, is I'm allowed a splurge meal. Now that's a splurge meal, not a splurge day. I just want to make that clear. So I will say to myself, right, Saturdays I do my long run. So in the evening I can have what I want. Whatever I want I can have. Funny thing is, usually by the time that day comes, I don't want the crap. I'm not sat there with a big tub of Ben & Jerry's.
Wow.
Even though I'm allowing myself to, but I'm just like, yeah, I don't want that. I've run today, I'm feeling good, maybe I'll have barbecue sauce on my meal or something else that way. But generally I don't even take the splurge meal. And if I do, I don't wake up the next day feeling guilty and beating myself up because I'm allowing myself that splurge meal. So mentally what it does is it stops yourself from, you haven't got that little devil on your shoulder going, you haven't had chocolate, da-da-da-da. You're actually comfortable with your lifestyle decision.
So just knowing that you can have it if you want it once a week.
Absolutely.
That's a great strategy. We have a lot of great questions coming up in part 2, so stay tuned.